Sarah Whitehead, and I'm here with Cindy Munn to discuss the 1991 eruption in Mount Pinatubo.
Thanks.
So tell us, where is Mount Pinatubo?
Mount Pinatubo is part of a chain of stratovolcanoes along the Luzon Arc on the west coast of the Philippines. The arc of volcanoes is due to the subduction of the Manila Trench to the west.
When was the last time it erupted?
Mount Pinatubo had been dormant for 500 years. The last major eruptions since 1991 were 500, 3,000, and 5,500 years ago.
What was the activity like in 1991?
In March and April of 1991, magma started rising for more than 20 miles beneath the surface. And between April and June, small earthquakes were triggered. Many thousand tons of noxious sulfur dioxide gas were emitted by the volcano. The first magma reached the surface on June 7th, but lost most of the gas contained in it, and it oozed out to form a lava dome.
What was the eruption like?
At first, volcanic ash and pumice pebbles spewed from the volcano. A pyroclastic flow filled the deep valleys with fresh volcanic deposits as much as 660 feet high. And within 2 hours, the eruption plume of various gases and ash reached high into the atmosphere at an altitude of 21 miles and 250 miles wide.
What was its activity like after the eruption?
After the eruption, Mount Pinatubo extruded so much rock and magma that the summit collapsed, causing a caldera that was 1.6 miles wide. Milder eruptions occurred occasionally until September of 1991, and yet another lava dome formed between July and October.
In what ways were people affected by the eruption?
20,000 indigenous highlanders who lived on the slopes of the volcano were totally displaced. 200,000 other people in lowlands had to be evacuated, but most were able to return home with threats from lahars. Also, on June 10th, the Clark U.S. Air Force Base had to be evacuated, causing 14,000 workers and their families to leave.
How did the eruption at Mount Pinatubo compare to other volcanic eruptions?
Mount Pinatubo was 10 times larger than Mount St. Helens in 1980. It was also the largest disturbance of the stratosphere since the eruption of Krakatoa in 1883.
How did the eruption affect the rest of the world?
The aerosol clouds spread around the Earth in 2 weeks and covered the planet within a year, which reduced global temperatures. Thankfully, forecasting the eruption saved many lives and allowed the area to be evacuated before the event.
What were the long-term effects of the eruption?
The eruption destroyed over 100,000 homes, and new towns had to be built on higher ground to replace those which were displaced. There were lots of threats of lahars, and as of 2005, 100,000 people were still at risk from lahars.
Thanks, Sydney, and thank you for listening. Now stay tuned for more footage of the event. During and after the eruption, a half-inch and thicker layer of ash blanketed 4,660 square miles of land. Commercial aircrafts were avoided during the eruption because of hazards associated with the ash. Ash continually spewed out from the mountain for the next year. Monsoon rain for many following years washed down ash, creating lahars. Civil engineers' efforts to build dams to confine the lahars failed. Lahars covered whole sections of cities near the volcano base and buried entire towns in lowlands. The eruption caused global temperatures to lower an average of 0.9 degrees Fahrenheit. Along with those from the initial eruption, casualties rose to more than 700 people.
Yeah, you know what it is. Pinatubo, 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 Pinatubo. Yeah, you know what it is. Pinatubo, 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 Pinatubo. Yeah, you know what it is. Pyroclastic flow, you know it's big. Yeah, St. Helens, that's nothing. Krakatoa, that's funny. Flowing through the town when you see it, you know, run away. Pinatubo, 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 Pinatubo. It's been steep, but now it's awake. You know it's Pinatubo, 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 Pinatubo. Yeah, you know what it is. Pinatubo, 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 Pinatubo. Yeah, you know what it is. Pinatubo, 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 Pinatubo. Yeah, you know what it is. Pyroclastic flow, you know it's big. Yeah, St. Helens, that's nothing. Krakatoa, that's funny. Flowing through the town when you see it, you know. gonna run away. Pinatubo, 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 Pinatubo. It's been asleep, but now it's awake. You know it's Pinatubo, 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 Pinatubo.